Reality is insane, they wanna keep us in chains. Plus they have a web of deception they weave in our brains. But now I see through the games, they're trying to lead us astray. Gatekeeping information, they wanna keep it that way. But I'm researching all the time, every day of the week. So people claim that I'm crazy and I'm labeled a freak. But that's what happens when you're awake in a nation of sheep, where they try their best to keep the population asleep. They poison our food and water and they offer us war, but we're not falling for their parlor tricks, not anymore. We walked through the door and let our chains drop to the floor. There's many areas in this life that we got to explore, and the earth too, because they might be hiding more land, more seas, more trees, more snow, more sand. In school, everything that we're taught is a lie, and lately it's making me crazy. I gotta know why. Break free from this twisted mental conditioning. I offer my message to anyone out there who's listening. I hear just beyond the limits and it's calling me whispering. Sometimes I feel like I'm tripping, this has got to be just a dream. But nope, I'm wide awake, my friend, and this is reality. Why do we let them enslave us, man? It beats the heck out of me. People barely scraping by and work for minimum wages. There is no new world order, this is how it's been through the ages. Flip through the pages of history and see on your own. Too many things are a mystery, other things are unknown. It makes me question who we are, where we live and what we're told. But walking a path of truth can be a really bumpy road. We're ridiculed, mocked, and we're ostracized and laughed away. But that's okay, some folks are sheep until they pass away. In school, everything that we're taught is a lie, and lately it's making me crazy. I gotta know why.
So let's start with the four basic elements, which is earth, water, air, and fire. Earth is the earth, water is the oceans and the electrolyte, air is the anode or the moon, and fire is the cathode or the sun. So starting with earth, this is our salt bridge. It's a molten salt bridge because of lava, and that's the main driver of that mechanism there. Its charge is cancelled out, so it's charge equilibrium. It acts as a capacitor for the whole lot as well, so it limits the amount of charge running through this system as well, and you can regard it as an earth plate. So the water side of things, which is the electrolyte, is basically, it is an electrolyte because of sodium chloride and potassium nitrate. It has a range of different elements in it: silver ions, gold ions, it has sulfates, and it is basically transferred up into the atmosphere via evaporation, and also certain bonds can be broken via light as well, or UV rays such as silver chloride. So once into the atmosphere, there's the airflow, things get moved around, and it makes its way, lighter elements make their way, up into the atmosphere, as well as the charges of each of these will attract certain elements. There is also a process where there's the hot and cold side of things actually acts like a distillation process, especially on the moon side where it cools down, and so in that way it's separating out the different elements. So moving on to the moon, which is air, and the reason it's air is because oxygen is created on its side. It has silver nitrate, silver sulfate, sodium and potassium. It's actually alkaline. I've said in a previous video where I thought this was acidic, but let you on a bit of a bum steer there, so now that's corrected. This side is cold, really cold, and that's a part of the thermogalvanic creation of voltage as well. So to create a voltage between the two, for a thermogalvanic cell, you need one that's really hot and one that's really cold. So some of my research has led me to believe that there's also the creation of methanol around the moon, and this may have a way of actually breaking the bonds of sodium chloride and potassium nitrate apart and allowing them to ionize, because it can't do it like the sun with just heat alone. As I've said before, that the lit part of the moon is always facing the sun, and that is a sodium and potassium ionized plasma. The sun and moon seem to be operating in the ionosphere, and that's where there's extreme amounts of ions moving. And as I said before, that the moon's plasma field is sodium potassium, and so this sodium potassium act as almost like a ionic wire moving across from anode to cathode, and as it reaches the cathode, there's an ignition of the hydrogen from the sodium potassium impact, so they're highly volatile. On the sun side of things, there's the creation of water and hydrogen,